What's going on, you bunch of heathens? We're back with the part 2 of Iwo Jima by the operations room. First one was super interesting and I got some pretty good feedback on it, so here we are. Admittedly, I probably still would have done it because it's interesting, but here we are. Make sure you guys check out the original video. It's linked down below. So let's jump in. Foreign.
This video is sponsored by NordVPN. A VPN, or virtual private network, allows you to secure
2 years? Okay, we'll skip this. Jump to there.
or nordvpn.com/opsroom for 4 bonus months and a 30-day guarantee. At 7:30 AM on D+2 of the assault on Iwo Jima, an earth-shaking artillery barrage begins. Naval guns, marine artillery and tanks bombard Japanese positions on Mount Suribachi. The 28th Marine Regiment of the 5th Marine Division
I still really love the sound of the name of that.
At 8 AM. The 28th's commander, Colonel Harry Liversidge, is unsatisfied despite the heavy volume of fire and shouts at his operations officer, "Ask for all of it." 40 Corsairs from Task Force 51's carriers dive in on the mountain, firing rockets and dropping napalm on suspected enemy positions while the Marines anxiously wait in their foxholes. Today will be the big push to capture the Japanese stronghold, which has been marked as a priority objective.
Makes sense.
However, at 8 AM there is no order to advance. Marine officers look up from their watches with nervous faces as the artillery fire slackens. Liversidge has been promised Sherman tanks to support his advance, but they have been delayed by harassing mortar fire and traffic jams on the beach.
I was literally about to say, it's probably not coming because of some other fucking nightmare that happened. Fucking unlucky.
He has no choice but to wait. On the mountain, the
but in
2,000
doing so is
Japanese
letting them
defenders
get their...
emerge from carefully concealed caves
Yeah,
and
you're
tunnels
letting them get
to reman their defensive
prepared.
positions. Every second the Marines do not attack gives the enemy more time to prepare for the onslaught ahead. It's the third day of the battle on Iwo Jima. The first two have been brutal, with some Marine units suffering 83% casualties during the initial advance inland. In the centre,
That's bad.
the southern airfield has been captured and engineers are brought in to repair the landing strip. In the east, the rock quarry which has decimated the 24th and 25th Marine Regiments is finally on the verge of falling. However, all eyes will be on the southwest.
Oh, that quarry. I will never be able to look at that fucking quarry the same way again. After the fucking mass Kaz that was there, massive friendly fire, I'll never be able to look at that the same way.
For Mount Suribachi is about to begin. Colonel Liversidge continues to hold out hope that his promised armour will show up, but by 8:30 AM he can wait no longer. The order goes out to begin the assault. The US Marines charge out of their foxholes and begin the climb up Mount Suribachi under heavy fire. The fighting is brutal and close quarters most of the way up the mountain. As they climb higher, many American units are given a nasty shock when they suddenly find themselves under attack from behind.
Oh shit! Oh, that's horrible. Who designs a fucking bunker like this? Or for all I know, it could be pretty fucking standard, but holy shit, you think you're clear to move up and you just get sprayed in the back?
The Japanese positions are interconnected by subterranean tunnels, meaning they can be reoccupied by the defenders after the Marines think they have neutralized the threat.
Oh shit, that's true, I forgot about the tunnels.
Units, whose grim task is to clear out the Japanese blockhouses one by one. Chuck Lindbergh of Easy Company in the 2nd Battalion carries 72 pounds of jellied gasoline in a pressurized tank on his back as part of a 2-man flamethrower crew.
Oh, one of the scariest
Lindbergh
jobs.
and his comrade are called upon to clear an enemy pillbox. As part of a Marine technique known as corkscrew and blowtorch, Lindbergh moves up to the firing line while fellow Marines intensify their fire towards the pillbox. When ready, Marines use BAR light machine guns to provide suppressive fire, while the two men run towards the enemy position.
God, I love the BAR.
Lindbergh approaches the pillbox and squeezes the trigger on his M2 flamethrower, shooting molten fire into the gun port. The heat is so intense that ammunition inside the bunker starts cooking off, and the oxygen is sucked from the tunnel within. His comrade then runs around and tosses a satchel charge through the gun port, blowing whatever is left inside to smithereens. Lindbergh signals the position is clear,
of a fucking
and the rest of his
tactic.
platoon moves up.
Fuck me.
Lindbergh repeats this dangerous work as the Marines steadily advance up Mount Suribachi. He will be awarded the Silver Star for bravery under fire on D+2.
Good. Dude
By
fucking
late
deserves
afternoon,
it.
victory on the mountain is within the Americans' grasp. The Japanese garrison has been worn down and is running critically low on ammunition. Yet, they have no intention of giving up on Suribachi yet. A Navy spotter aircraft sights Japanese troops opposite Lindbergh's Easy Company's position, forming up for a banzai charge, a dreaded final charge intended to inflict maximum casualties on the Marines at the cost of the Japanese attackers' lives. 2nd Platoon Leader Sergeant Mike Strank orders his men to hunker down, while Corsairs dive in to strafe and rocket the Japanese attackers. Once the aircraft bank away, Strank jumps to his feet and shouts, "Let's show them what a real banzai is like. Easy Company, charge."
You crazy
Easy
sons of
leaps from behind
bitches.
cover and charges the 100 yards up the exposed volcanic slope, surprising the Japanese who had been forming up to attack. To the right of 2nd Platoon,
Oh shit.
3rd Platoon
Fucking face to face.
also charges with bayonets fixed, but is pinned down by the few remaining Japanese bunkers. Realizing they can't break through without tank support, Sergeant Ernst Boots Thomas sprints 75 yards to the nearest Sherman to direct fire against the pillboxes. While running, he has his carbine shot out of his hands. Undeterred,
Oh, that's a
he then runs
butt-pucker
back to his
moment.
men and leads them forward until they come under fire from another bunker. Thomas repeats the process, sprinting back and forth between his men and the tanks while the Marines advance up the mountain. When they reach the Japanese
What a
who were
dope
forming up for a
motherfucker.
banzai charge, the ensuing hand-to-hand fighting is brutal. Without a rifle,
Fucking would be.
Thomas slashes at the enemy with his combat knife. Ultimately, the weakened Japanese defenders are no match for the Marines to overcome the enemy position. After the death of every single defender, Sergeant Strank and Thomas's men find themselves alone near Suribachi's summit as Thomas waves his knife aloft in victory. Boots Thomas will
Fuck
be
yeah.
awarded the Navy Cross and is killed on Iwo Jima 12 days later.
Oh, that's sad. I'm trying to remember what the names of are of the what are they called? The veterans who Unsub had on. Was it Dawn? I think one of their names was Dawn. Here we are. Yeah. Dawn Graves and Al Chatwin. I think Dawn unfortunately passed away though, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say either Dawn or Al did. I cannot remember for the life of me. One of them passed away recently because I saw the Unsub guys talking about it.
On the 21st
But
of
that
February
was
alone,
a really cool
Marines
episode.
of Easy Company will receive a Medal of Honor, 4 Navy Crosses, 2 Silver Stars, and many Purple Hearts.
Jesus
Their achievements
Christ.
are not without sacrifice, however, as
Easy
Easy
putting
Company
in
suffers
work.
30% casualties on the day. Night falls on the island with the American troops nearly at the summit of Mount Suribachi. The Marines settle into their foxholes and are awed by an unexpected show from the sea. The ships of the invasion fleet have picked up 32 Japanese aircraft on radar, and anti-aircraft tracers fill the skies off Iwo Jima.
Sorry about that. Something happened. Let's continue on. Let me go back 5 seconds.
On radar, and anti-aircraft tracers fill the skies off Iwo Jima. The Japanese aircraft have taken off from the nearby island of Hakijujima and head for the American carriers to the east of the island.
Oh, that's right. Okay. That's
At
where we were.
6:45 p.m, they locate the carrier task force centered on the USS Saratoga, whose aircraft have been providing close air support for the Marines on Iwo Jima.
Oh shit, this
The
is a
Japanese
big
aircraft
deal.
are arriving at the worst possible time for the US carriers. Their combat air patrol numbers only 6 fighters due to the lack of daylight.
Ah,
Cecil
fuck.
Gentry is a radio operator on the destroyer escort USS Lawrence Taylor and is monitoring radio traffic from Iwo Jima
Come on,
when
Cecil.
the carrier task force receives an air raid warning. As naval anti-aircraft guns light up the night sky, Gentry can see the Japanese formation diving on the ships. These are kamikazes, pilots who intend to crash themselves into the American vessels,
fuck.
hoping to sink them in the process.
Gentry watches in stunned fascination as 6 Jill torpedo bombers scream toward the escort carriers Lunga Point and Bismarck Sea.
Drakkenfeld. Why
The
do I know this
anti-aircraft
guy?
fire brings down
Why do I feel
4
like I
of
know
the
him?
attackers, but one kamikaze gets through and hits Lunga Point. Luckily, the shallow angle of the collision only grazes the flight deck, starting a minor fuel fire.
Good news.
However, the Bismarck Sea is less fortunate. Gentry spots an incoming kamikaze which flies directly over the bridge of Lawrence Taylor, so close that Gentry will later recall that I could see the face of the Japanese pilot. I could see the fear of death on his face.
Oh,
The Jill
God,
strikes
that's...
Bismarck Sea and detonates inside the main hangar, which is crowded with aircraft and munitions.
Oh,
2
fuck.
minutes later, a second kamikaze
Why do I... Did they show this in Flags Are Our Fathers? I feel like they may have shown
strikes
this.
the ship and causes a massive explosion which rips the carrier in half. Bismarck Sea sinks in a matter of minutes, becoming the last US carrier to be sunk by enemy fire in the Second World War. Escorts move in to pick up survivors.
That's
The
bad.
USS Saratoga is also heavily damaged from 2 direct hits from kamikazes. Altogether, almost 500 American naval personnel are killed on this night.
Oh,
On D+3,
R.I.P.
poor weather hampers American air support, limiting infantry attacks on the ground. In the north, rocket trucks are brought in to blast the remaining Japanese positions in the rock quarry. Lieutenant Colonel Justice Chambers is once again leading from the front, rallying his men of the 3rd Battalion 25th Marine Regiment when he is shot through the chest by a Japanese sniper. As Chambers is about to succumb to shock, his friend Captain James Headley kicks him in the feet, shouting, "Get up, you were hurt worse on Tulagi." Chambers is evacuated
That's a
on
real
the last
fucking
transport
friend.
off the island before
That's a real fucking friend right there. Get the fuck up. Stop faking it.
nightfall,
That's
and
funny.
is later awarded the Medal of Honor.
Good for you, buddy.
To the left of the
That's
3rd
cool.
Battalion 25th Marine Regiment, the American units also begin a slow advance on the northern airfield. On Mount Suribachi, the 28th Regiment shrinks the Japanese perimeter to just 400 yards by nightfall, forcing Colonel Kanehiko Atsuki into a rash decision. Atsuki orders his men to abandon their positions and break out to the north to rejoin the new defensive line. However, poor communications lead to only 150 men attempting the breakout.
Oh,
They are
shit.
caught in the open by American machine guns and are cut to pieces. Only 25 make it to the friendly lines, where they inform General Kuribayashi that Mount Suribachi has fallen. At the base of the mountain, Colonel Liversidge visits 2nd Battalion Commander Lieutenant Colonel Chandler Johnson and gives him a simple command: "Tomorrow we climb."
Can
Daylight
you...
breaks on D+.
I would not be able to imagine the, like, almost, I guess, fear or whatever you would want to call it of hearing that. Just, tomorrow we climb. That would be honestly downright fucking terrifying to hear. Just like, you've lost so many men and then it's just like, we're climbing tomorrow. Like, I don't know how you would be able to... Oh, fuck that.
4, the 23rd of February, to reveal more wind and rain, but the weather clears by mid-morning. Lieutenant Colonel Johnson orders a patrol from Fox Company to probe the summit of Mount Suribachi. The 4-man patrol carefully climbs the last few yards to the top of the extinct volcano, cautiously checking every pillbox and bunker for enemy activity. However, they encounter no Japanese resistance and make it to the top without any trouble. They report their findings to Colonel Johnson, who decides to send a stronger patrol. He radios Captain Dave Severance, commander of Easy Company, and orders him to send a 40-man group to the summit. Severance's executive officer, Lieutenant George Schreier, will lead the men. Before he leaves, Johnson hands Lieutenant Schreier a US flag to take with him. He tells him, "If you get to the top, put it up." Schreier's larger patrol sets out for the summit at 9:30 am. snaking up the extinct volcano in a single file line. The men aboard the warships off Iwo Jima watch with excitement as the patrol slowly makes its way up. The Marines take time to throw satchel charges and grenades into any enemy pillbox they find, but they are not fired on.
After what fucking happened last time, I'm fucking being doubly careful too. These fuckers are tricky. They like to come up behind me. I ain't fucking risking that shit.
At 10 AM, the patrol reaches the summit to find no Japanese defenders. 20 minutes later, Lieutenant Schreier and his men affix Colonel Johnson's flag to a pole and raise it above Mount Suribachi. Across Iwo Jima, Marines cheer and whistle while the naval ships offshore sound their horns. The celebration is short-lived. Private Harold Keller spots a Japanese sniper in a cave entrance on the summit and takes...
Oh shit. Either way, the whole point of that was morale boost. Like, hey, we fucking got this thing. And the fact that it was just some drain pipe that they fucking found.
Aim at the flag-raising party. Keller quickly fires 3 shots from his hip and kills the sniper.
Nice!
A small group of Japanese soldiers emerge from the same cave and start lobbing grenades at the Marines. A firefight breaks out as Marines dash for cover and fire back at the Japanese men. It only lasts a few minutes, as the Marines overcome the defenders with grenades and accurate rifle fire.
Yeah, but now we know that there's a cave there.
The last Japanese soldier is killed, and calm returns to the summit with the Americans suffering no casualties in the engagement.
That's good, at least.
Secretary of the Navy James Forrestal has accompanied the invasion fleet and is coming ashore with General Holland Smith when he spots the American flag on Mount Suribachi. He turns to the general and remarks, "Holland, the raising of that flag on Suribachi means a Marine Corps for the next 500 years." Forrestal orders General Smith to bring the...
That's dope, especially considering, I didn't know this, but apparently from Unsub, apparently the government is always trying to get rid of the Marine Corps. But then something happens and we end up bringing them back.
The flag to him,
so
he can take it back to Washington as a souvenir. General Smith phones Lieutenant Colonel Johnson.
Who wants it as a fucking... Is it Forrestal or Smith?
Forrestal orders General Smith to bring the flag to him.
Oh, fucking... I hate the idea of this. It's so fucking politician-y. I want it as a souvenir. The fuck? I hate that.
So he can take it back to Washington as a souvenir. General Smith phones Lieutenant Colonel Johnson, whose men have just stormed the beaches of Iwo Jima and taken Mount Suribachi, and informs him that the politician would like to keep the flag as a souvenir. Johnson listens before hanging up with disgust. To hell with that. That flag belongs to the men of this battalion.
Exactly.
Johnson sends his adjutant to the beach to fetch a replacement to give to Forrestal instead.
Yeah, you can have some fucking other...
and make it a bigger one. A larger replacement flag is swiftly retrieved from the beach and is run up the mountain to the summit. The company runner, René Gagnon, hands the flag to Sergeant Strank and tells him, Colonel Johnson wants this big flag run up high so every son of a bitch on this whole island can see it. The original flag is taken down for Lieutenant Colonel Johnson to put into safekeeping.
Good on you, Johnson.
6 men from Easy Company 2nd Battalion 28th Marine Regiment affix the replacement flag to a heavy pipe and raise it over the island. Associated Press photographer Joe Rosenthal, who survived the first days on Iwo Jima, is there to capture the moment.
Oh, I remember him from the movie.
Rosenthal's picture of the second flag raising on Iwo Jima will become one of the most famous images of the Second World War. Politician, Secretary of the Navy James Forrestal never gets his hands on the real.
Good, Forrestal didn't fucking deserve it. And I think it's the second, I would say the second most recognizable photo from World War II. Other than maybe, well, if not the first. So I'm trying to think. Maybe Victory Day in Times Square, that fucking photo. Maybe that one is a bit more noticeable, but I'd say the flag raising is by far the most famous photo of the Pacific War.
Flag. With Mount Suribachi conquered and the southern end of Iwo Jima secured, the battle now shifts to the north. On the following day, D+5, a massive attack is launched on a wide front by the 3rd and 5th Marine Divisions. With
It's
the help
insane to
of
me that the flag
overwhelming
was
naval
raised that
gunfire
fucking
from
quick.
the cruiser USS Pensacola and the battleship USS Idaho, the Marines finally overrun the rock quarry. Furthermore, they make significant progress against Iwo Jima's northern airfield. It is the most territory the US has gained in one day since the battle began.
Good.
Naval High Command believes that victory is imminent, but the day's encouraging advances are instead providing false hope.
It's
The
going to
real
take a
battle
whole
for
lot
Iwo Jima
longer.
is about to begin, as the combat shifts to the broken ground and difficult ridges comprising the northern half of the island. Within a month, Lieutenant Colonel Johnson and half of the Marines who raised the flag atop Mount Suribachi will be dead.
Oh, that's sad. Oh, is that the end? Oh, I didn't realize that was the end. Holy shit. So we got a part 3, I guess? Yeah, there is a part 3. Okay, I guess part 3 is coming up next week, I guess? Because I already have this week's planned out. Shit. That ended at a... that's a depressing note to end on, but fuck. Well, fuck me. That was a hell of an ending. Such a cool story, and I'm so glad that that fucking politician didn't get that flag. I gotta know, what happened to the original flag? Oh, they're both on display in the museum. Good. Okay. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Check out the original. They definitely fucking deserve it. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.